Hey everybody, it's David here, and welcome to Zephyr.net's first podcast. I'm here with our two Z partners, Alex and Noah, and let them introduce themselves.
Yeah, I'm Alex or Torqueo. My YouTube channel is Alex Shine Productions, and I make mostly guides and stuff. But yes, that's about it for me.
And my name is Noah, like he said, and I am from the YouTube channel NoahZone, and I am a spaz. I do in real life crazy stuff and lots of RuneScape stuff. So yeah, that's about me.
Alright, so let's get right into the behind the scenes. We're going to start off with a Tears of Guthix update called Go With The Flow. Basically, what they've done here is they've added a ginormous green snake to cover the entrance to Tears of Guthix. They've bumped up the XP to be more on par with some of the other mini games that Jagex has released, obviously, since Tears of Guthix, like penguins, troll invasion, stuff like that. And if you have 80 mining and 80 crafting, you're able to craft yourself an ornate bowl that you can catch more tiers in, and obviously you'll gain more XP if you catch more tiers. And they kept it the same, so you get the XP for your lowest skill. You don't get to choose like some of the other games. So, do you guys like this update?
I think it's good. I mean, more XP, and I've always personally, well, when I was low level, I used to do Tears of Guthix all the time. So it's good that it's getting an update. Plus, it'll also work better for high levels since you can make your own bowl and everything.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. And then also, like with the graphical updates, I'm liking these like random graphical updates that don't like ruin the look of an item. Like a little bit ago when Jagex like updated the Dragon Dagger, that was just total poop since they got rid of like the Dragon Dagger, the look to it. But like these game updates that like make mini games and just random stuff look better, I think the Tears of Guthix looks a lot cooler now.
Well, they're obviously going to have to graphically update the game because if the game didn't evolve graphically since, I don't know, when Tears of Guthix came out, I'm guessing like really early 2000s, it looked like crap compared to the rest of the game. If you compared it with like the new Chaos Tunnels or something like that, you could tell quite a difference. And this is one of the you can access the mini game for really lower level players, and if you just start playing the game and you go through all this low level content and all these like really bad quests that they came out with years ago and these horrible mini games that look like crap, you're not going to want to keep playing the game. But if they update the lower level content, it'll keep those players playing so they can build a fan base. Especially with the evolution of combat, they're going to lose a lot of their um, veteran players because people don't like change. But the game has to change. Otherwise, you can't honestly tell me you'd still be playing this game if it hasn't changed since 2005. You might think you have, but I bet good money you wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. But on the other hand, like RuneScape, like it's not really that good of graphics even after like a graphical update. I don't think that's the reason a lot of people play RuneScape. It's not because of the graphics. It's mainly just because of the fun gameplay, I'd say. And so I think a lot of people actually prefer the old graphics to the new graphics because on like private servers and stuff, like a lot of them now you can choose whether you want like the new look to the items or the old look to the items. And I'm thinking like a lot of people play with like the old look. I think they like that old style to it.
I don't know. I like the graphical updates. I mean, sure, the old one was fine in my opinion, but I don't think there's anything wrong with graphical updates because I mean, like Admiral or David said, you've gotta you can't just have this thing looking the same. And like I don't play the game for graphical updates like Noah said, but it's always nice because I mean, would you rather? I would much rather be going to Tears of Guthix looking like this than literally looking like a bunch of gray with some, trinkles or whatever.
I like the bowl aspect to this because it gets like before the a level 3 could get the same amount of, or that's not a good example. Someone with 1,000 total level could get the same XP as someone that's nearly maxed because there was you played the game and that was that. Like for Troll Invasion, if you have a higher combat level, you're obviously going to gain more XP because you can kill the boss. This way, now that if you have 80 mining and crafting, you can get a boost with a bowl, so it might actually make me actually log in to do Tears of Guthix. I personally haven't done it in, oh, I don't know, 3 years, four maybe. So I'm definitely going to check it out. I haven't checked it out for myself yet, though, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
well,
like about these updates that like go like on like old things that Jagex has already come out with that RuneScapers like don't even use anymore. I'm thinking this is a good way to get like players to actually use these things that like a lot of these new players have never even heard of before.
Yeah, but also not just about the bowl, but right now, I mean, I know this because I used to do Tears of Gothics all the time. There's like an XP cap that's around level 60. I don't know the exact level, but after like level 60-ish, you get the same amount of XP for each tier in any skill. So like if someone with 60 summoning is getting the same XP per tier as someone with 99. So, really it's not just the bowl too. I think they said in the behind the scenes that they'll just increase like the base XP for each level and it'll give more XP. So that would be nice too.
Yeah, they did mention that. They said that uh God damn it, I'm getting interrupted. Someone keep going. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, this is nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and like you said, it would get more people to do it
All right.
because,
Sorry about that. I'm
yeah.
back.
Well, I'm just wondering too, like how many people actually know about it? How many new players? Like if you ask new players around, how many would know what you meant if you said Tears of Gothics?
Probably not that many. It would actually be really cool if Jagex like released some stats of how many people actually partake in some of these games. Because like I don't know, Rat Pits. If anyone remembers that really old game, nobody goes to Rat Pits. Let's be honest. It's dead. There's
Hmm.
no point in going there. I don't even. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's like kind of like a fight caves type thing for your cat, where your cat competes against another cat to kill rats. Like I'm not even kidding. I was looking this up when I was deciding a mini game to write a guide on, so I just checked, and it was like I don't know. There was literally no point in going to the game. But say if they update that next month, I'm sure people will actually go at least once to just see what they've done with it.
Yeah, like nowadays, I haven't seen like anybody with a cat out. Like back in the day, I would see people all the time walking around with cats and stuff. But now I never see a hellcat or just like a baby cat walking around with somebody.
Yeah, more on the cats. The only time you'll ever see cats is when you go to that basement in Edgeville so that you can get the spices to boost your
Oh yeah,
skills.
yeah, for Barrow's gloves.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only time you see cats. So anyway, we're kind of off subject on that because we started talking about cats. So we'll move on to Dungeoneering XP increases. As you guys know, Dungeoneering is supposed to be a game where you play with multiple, or a skill that you train with multiple people. Some people really like the skill, and I know personally some people don't like it. I don't like it because I didn't level it up immediately, so now everyone's so far ahead of me that the people I can get teams with, let's just say it as is, they suck. So it's really hard to gain XP. But with this update, they've given like smaller groups XP bonuses. So now at solo XP, they claim you can reach 350k per hour and possibly even more depending on how good you are at dungeoneering. So what do you guys think of this?
I think in theory this sounds really good because I always hated like always finding a team and stuff. I thought that was a big pain because when I'm like RuneScaping at night and stuff and I don't have like friends to dungeoneer with me, I always thought it was annoying that I couldn't dungeoneer because I'd get like 10k XP an hour. But now with this update, that makes it possible. But I also know that there is like bots that can do dungeoneering. My friends have used those bots. And although it takes a long time, they have gotten rapiers and chaotics and whatnot. And with this, if you get a lot more XP per hour, then I think there is going to be a lot more botting in the dungeoneering aspect.
Well, they are
Yeah.
with the bots. They're trying to take them out, and they're Botany Bay and all these anti-bot software, or I don't know if it's software, but however they detect bots, they're obviously working on it. But I just think, if anything, it'll decrease the amount of bots because the only reason you would bot to get dungeoneering, well, that I can think of, is so that you can like bot that account using Frost Dragons or something. But we don't want to go off on a bot rant. We want to stick to like how this affects legitimate players and how they can level up solo. I remember an old staff member, Rachel, was a graphics manager, and she refused to get a max cape for a long time because she hated the way that dungeoneering was so like tuned to like groups of people. Like you had to have like three, four, five people. I'm not the one to go into detail about dungeoneering. I suck at dungeoneering. My combat level is like 123, I think, and my dungeoneering level is 51. So,
Well, I remember back when I was first training dungeoneering, I didn't realize that group was that much faster. So I got somewhere to all the way to somewhere around 65 solo, and it sucked
Oh,
because it
jeez.
was so slow. Like
Well,
it took me a long time to do that. So I'm personally really glad this is coming out because I mean I know that some people it is really annoying being in a team sometimes. So it's good that you could just go solo if you're getting really frustrated and still be able to train.
yeah, I'm actually going to take advantage of this update, so I really hope it's what they actually say it is because my friend and we're both in the same situation. We waited around, didn't get it up initially, so that we're both like I think he's like 59 or 60, something like that. And I'm 51, so we'll duo floors because it's a bit quicker, but we're literally getting like 15k XP per hour. So when I don't know, he'll text me or something, want a dung, and I'll be like, well, yeah, but it's not really worth my time, to be honest with you. I don't want to sit here and get 15k XP. And after you do two or three of the same dungeon, getting like 2k XP per dungeon, it's pretty demotivating, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can easily see that.
What level are you guys in dung?
I'm currently 103.
Yeah, I am 97 right now, but that's mainly because I have nice friends that have leached me for a lot of that.
Yeah, I always used to say that I would get it up, and I've been saying it for like I don't know a year now, and I finally started. I like penguin pointed it to 20. I don't want to say it was like 26 or something, and then my friend is like, "All right, let's just do this," and I'm like, okay." We started. We've been doing it here and there, but it's just so slow that it literally takes like 2 goddamn days to get a level. It's not okay. With this, hopefully I'll be able to get like I don't even care if it's 350k. Give me 50k XP an hour and I'll be thrilled.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Dungeoneering. Oh, wait, go ahead.
I was just gonna say because it's not like one of the other skills like woodcutting. Like I cannot stand woodcutting for 50k XP an hour. It's just over and over and over again. You click a tree or a vine.
Yeah,
Or
woodcutting and like fishing have turned into like movie watching skills. Like you click every once in a while, and then on the other side of the screen, you're just like watching TV or YouTube or something.
yeah, pretty much. And with dungeoneering, you can't do that. So even if you're getting less XP than other skills, it's not that bad. So
Yeah,
let's move on to the quests, Rune Mysteries and Rune Memories. I know absolutely nothing about quests, to be honest with you. I took me until I was like 110 combat to get Barrows gloves because I am that lazy. And yeah, do you guys know anything about either of these quests? I want to say Rune Mysteries is an old quest that's getting updated, but I can't
it
be
is.
sure.
Rune Mysteries is a really old quest. You probably don't remember it, but it's just one of those quests where all you're doing is walking back and forth for 5 minutes.
Oh, with the present between like that guy in the wizard's
Yep,
tower and then the
yep.
guy.
It's
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
start rune crafting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and is the Rune Memories, I don't know much about this part of the behind the scenes. Is the Rune Memories going to be like
A new one.
a members version to build off of Rune Mysteries?
Yes, yeah.
Do you know anything about the rewards or anything like that?
Uh, they say new titles, new mage outfits, new weapon for low-level players, and rune essence rewards that grow as your rune crafting levels increase.
So
And
that's
also hidden rewards for higher level players.
so that sounds more geared towards low levels, like I was mentioning earlier, that low level people, low level players, if they don't if they don't update the content, they'll play and they'll play for a little while and then they'll get bored of the game and they'll quit. That's the way I see it. I've tried to get a few of my friends into it, and they play like I wouldn't say related games, but the same genre like Skyrim and World of Warcraft and all those kinds of games. But when they play RuneScape, even if they've never played it before and they aren't prejudiced against it for whatever reason, they just don't progress any higher than like 40 or 50 because it's just riddled with bots and the content's really old. So I like that they're focusing on lower levels
Wait, question
versus
though.
yeah.
Were they members or free to play?
They started free to play, but then I would convince them to be members, and they'd do that for about a month or maybe two, and then they'd just be like they wouldn't say they'd stop playing, they just stop playing and start playing other games.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
Noah, do you know anything about these quests?
yeah. I'm actually kind of really excited to see like they're adding a little add-on to Rune Mysteries because like Rune Mysteries, like every single RuneScape player has had to do that so they can start like rune crafting, and then like every RuneScaper started out money making by mining pure essence and stuff and mining rune essence. And so I'm thinking it's gonna be a really cool quest.
A little side story related to that. I remember an old friend of mine that used to play the game. We started at about the same time, and we'd progress through quests and shit like that together. And we were mining pure essence. I don't know how this really relates to pure essence. It just doesn't. But we did what was one of the old quests. It was all fired up. We did that not so we could unlock the beacons. We did it for the 20K cash. So when you really it's so when you really think about how like even 100 rune essence, how much that means to like a level 20, it can actually keep them playing the game like literally logged on for like 6 more hours because they gotta get 10K or whatever. It's just I don't know. I just yeah.
Hmm. Well,
So you can
uh,
go.
on the topic of like new players starting and like keeping them playing the game, I don't know about you guys, but like before I played RuneScape because like I was younger back then. Before I hadn't really ever played an MMO, so this was kind of the first MMO I played. Also, like the first big game I ever played. So, I mean, it stuck because it was the first one I'd done. But you mentioned that your friend like they'd played other games before. I think that's probably why it's kind of a deterrent because when you compare other games to RuneScape, I mean, one of them. I'm not saying RuneScape's a bad game, but
Well,
it's just not as attractive.
it's just more grinding than actual action. Like they try to fix that with the evolution of combat, but I covered it really well the first week or so when they released the beta. It's the same stuff. In a year or so, it's gonna be bad unless they constantly evolve the game. It's just going to be a repetitive game. That's just the nature of the game, and you can't exactly change that without changing the game. And about low levels, it was also my first legitimate game that I played. I played games on like the PlayStation, but that was like Need for Speed and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, I actually refused to play it at first because I saw one of my friends play it, and he wouldn't be a very good salesman because he had me sit there for 3 hours and watch him play this game where he was mining gold ore. I'm like, well, this is stupid. I'm not going to sit here for 3 hours and mine gold ore. And I went to a camp in the summer and I saw everyone playing it there. So I don't know. I didn't know anyone from the camp at the time, so I said, well, unless I'm going to sit here by myself and be that awkward lonely kid, I'm going to play this game. So I got this game. I made an account on RuneScape, and I'd always forget the accounts because I didn't think, oh, I'll just play it and then I'll restart tomorrow. I didn't get the concept of you keep going. So I had like 6 accounts, and someone's like, you're not doing it right. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not doing it right? So my initial goal was to get to Hill Giants, and I said, all right, once I get to Hill Giants, I'll be done. And it just kept building on each other, and now it's been, I don't know, 5, 6 years, seven, probably not seven. Probably more like 5 or 6. But yeah, let's move on to gravestones because that actually does help some of the lower level players. Because if you would like die at a really low level and you would lose like your mithril armor and your 6K coins, you'd freak out and you'd probably rage quit for a few hours. But I think what they're doing with this is that's an interface to hold your items instead of dropping them on the floor. Not only does it make it easier to equip your items because now has a take all and equip all button, it can also fix some bugs. Like the most recent one I can remember is when the QBD came out. When people would die, so many people died that the servers weren't able to display all the items on the ground. So you'd get to your gravestone, your items were gone, and there were some high level players using some really high level gear doing that update right when it was released. So I know a few people lost Pernix and Torva and stuff like that just testing it out because there was a glitch and they couldn't get it back.
Hmm. I mean, more secure gravestones is just always going to be a good thing. And I really like how they're like, instead of having the items go on the ground, they're having them like in their own interface because that would just make it so much more foolproof.
Yeah, they're making the game easier, which some people complain about, but unless they want the game to die, they're going to have to make it easier because people just keep getting lazier and lazier and lazier.
Hmm. And I don't see it as really getting easier because I mean, why in the first place should you have to lose everything if maybe if I don't see the point in losing that much.
I don't think it's that there was a point before, it's that people like I don't know, when I started playing you would kill goblins and stuff like that to level up at low levels. And I'm not saying now there's like new low level quests and way easier ways to level up. So the people that are already playing the game go, oh wow, this is so much easier. Why didn't they add this when I did it? This update sucks, blah, 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 blah. And they get all upset because the update doesn't affect them in any way because the gravestone improvement, sure, it'll help people and make it quicker, but I think this is, again, geared at low levels. This entire month, I think, is geared towards low levels and the transition into the evolution of combat.
Well, not that that's a bad thing, though.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Well,
I'm
no, I
saying
know.
it's a good thing. But some people take it in a bad way that they don't care about the players they already have.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, do you have anything to say on the gravestones?
Yeah, I'm just like actually pretty excited about this because like I like the option that you can just like right click and then click take all and re-equip all and stuff. I think it's just kind of annoying having to pick everything up and then re-put it on and stuff like when you accidentally go AFK for too long and die at bandits or die at frost dragons or something. And so I think this is kind of a nice handy little update.
On the dying aspect, I do DKs a lot, and if for whatever reason I die not paying attention, lag out or whatever, getting all of your stuff back there when you're soloing is kind of a pain because when you go in there initially, you have all three of the Dagoneth Kings on you, and it's really hard to loot all of the Sarah Brews and poisons and stuff like that, and re-equip your gear so that you don't get dropped because it's not easy to get back there either. If any of you have been there or gone to Rock Lobsters, you're going to know you need a door partner, and it's a long run. The dungeon desperately needs to be updated. The frames are really, really choppy in there. I don't know if that's for everyone, but for me, my frames, I'll hold 50. Everywhere else, go into that dungeon, and it like skips between 30 and 50, and it's just an annoyance if you die there and you lose your stuff because DK is not a very difficult boss.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty small update, but I do think it's a good update. I'm not in disagreement with any of these updates so far this month, but they're also doing
Yeah,
make
I
X.
think,
You can go.
I mean, it's not like, there's nothing I'm really excited about, but there's nothing that I'm going to regret being put in the game.
Yeah, like there's no big updates, like there's no new bosses, or like Calfight King's not coming out or anything like that. It's just like little things that make the game better. It's not going to affect everyone, but I'm sure one of these updates will affect each player in some way. This update, Make X, is perhaps the biggest update of the month. It basically changes the entire interface for interacting with skills. This has some real upsides and some downsides too. It's going to piss a lot of people off because I've seen some videos of it being used in the combat beta. And one thing I can think of right off the top of my mind, actually two, cleaning herbs with this thing is nearly impossible compared to what it used to be. Because you used to just be able to spam click through your inventory and it would clean them as you clicked them. Now when you pop it up, it brings you this interface and you click once and you can clean up to 10 of them at a time. So then you can only clean 10, then you have to click another one, then you have to click the button again and it'll clean 10 more. And it's really annoying. I think it's a good update overall though because it's not in the game yet, so they have time to work out some of these problems. And there's also no way of adding logs to a bonfire without clicking on the log, and I think you go craft and add to bonfire. It's something weird like that. It doesn't make much sense. But the new interface includes the experience, the value of the item, the grand exchange, and the alchemy prices, as well as the item requirements. So it's all right there, so it makes you don't have to go on RuneScape Wiki or anything like that to look up like how to make or how much XP a green d'hide body gives you or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, new interfaces is great and everything, but, and I mean, like I said, I'm not going to regret it being put into the game or anything. I just, this is like the one thing I'm kind of iffy about because even though making things more convenient is fine, it's just that I think that things are perfectly convenient enough as they are. Like, it's really not hard to do those kinds of things.
It's not hard to do pretty much any skill in this game. It's just time consuming.
Yeah, so there's not really a huge point in going, simplifying an already simple interface even more.
Well, again, it's like I think it's going to help the lower levels more than it's going to help the higher levels because I'm going to obviously know how many green d'hide bodies I need to
That's
make
true.
to get 99 crafting. So some new players, like when I first started playing, I had no idea there was RuneScape fan sites. Like the first fan site I ever used was RuneHQ, and I don't know, I just didn't like the fact that you had to leave the game and search something because the game was confusing when you're like what 8, 9 years old and you're trying to figure this stuff out. And obviously now I'm not opposed to fan sites, and I don't like updates that make them redundant, but this is just something that makes it easier for low level players. Again, like this entire month, I think, as I said, is geared towards low levels.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously the main reason behind that is because the game's changing soon, and they're kind of preparing everything for this big change where they really want to get a bunch of new people playing.
Yeah, because I've heard so many times I'm gonna quit as soon as the evolution of combat, blah blah blah. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. I think it's better for the game in the long run that they're doing all these changes, but in the short run, I'm sure they'll see a drop off of players because everyone's going to rage. Some people will come back. I'm not saying everyone will. Some people will stay away because they like the game as it is. But even then, they've already committed way too much time, money, time in developing, money, resources. Just there's too much into this evolution of combat to pull out now. So no matter if you like it or not, it's gonna happen. It just is a like question of when.
Yep.
So Noah, do you have anything on these Make X
Yeah, I think you
announcements?
guys pretty much summed it up. I think this is a really handy update, and I think that like sites like you were saying how RS Wiki and stuff are gonna become a lot less like important to RuneScapers, and I really like how Jagex is incorporating all like the little things that we've gone to external sites and stuff for, and incorporating it straight into the game, so it's all right there, right in front of you.
And it's not going to completely eliminate fan sites, obviously, because there's forums, quest guides, like the quest guide thing that Jagex has put into their game's been there forever. It's just not that great, to be honest with you. So
They
there's
actually
always
removed it now.
did they remove it
Yeah.
with the notice board update?
Oh, you mean like those journals?
Like no, when you open up a quest, you can like click on Dragon Slayer, and it says like
Oh, well, yeah, that's the
use
Quest
plank.
journal. I was thinking of their old Quest help system, so never mind. Those
Uh,
journals are still there, but
Yeah, that's what I thought. They don't really help, so they're not gonna like they're gonna lessen like you're not gonna have to search like on RuneScape Wiki how much XP you get for like stringing jewelry or something simple like that. So that's basically what that update does. So do have any of you guys played the combat beta at any point?
yes.
I played it a lot when it first came out because I was actually writing threads and stuff like that for Zephyr on it. But since then, I honestly have logged in like once or twice, so I haven't been on since the first 2 or 3 weeks of the beta being released. Have you, Noah?
Yeah, I've tried it out for a few hours and actually have watched a lot of like videos on it, like people discussing it and stuff. And I'm actually looking forward to it a lot.
I'm looking forward to it. I always like from when they initially announced it. I've always been a supporter of it. You can find posts of me telling people my opinions on it. But basically, we've been over this over and over again in this behind the scenes. Um, the game has to change. It cannot just sit there stagnant, not changing, and expect to gain new members. Sure, it may not lose some of the diehard RuneScape fans, but that's just not good enough. You can't just like it's like if you have a product, you can't just keep the same product and expect to make money. You have to update it and change it. Some people hate the changes, but other people like it and will entice them to play the game or buy whatever you're selling. So,
Unless we're talking about McDonald's Big Macs here.
well, I'm talking about like things that don't kill you. Uh,
Okay, fair enough.
basically, they call it the Combat Academy in beta access for everyone. It's basically a glorified tutorial on the evolution of combat. Um, and they say they offer you a generous XP reward to players who complete the Combat Academy and a quick in-game poll. So I really have no idea how much XP this is. Do any of you know?
Nope.
I'm assuming it's somewhere like 50k up because they've been pretty generous recently with their XP to say the least.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
obviously it's just to get people to do it.
Well, clearly, but Noah, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying like how RuneScape each update like that when they update a skill and stuff, they're gonna have to make it better XP for people to do the thing, and how eventually I'm thinking they're gonna turn the skills to like level 120, or else then getting a 99 skill is literally gonna be nothing special at all.
Well, they've said many times they don't have any plans to do that, but we are talking about Jagex. So hell, in December's behind the scenes, all the skills could go up to 120. We just
Yeah.
don't know. Like one day they say no more bonus XP weekends. So they didn't lie. They said no more bonus XP weekends. They gave us a double XP weekend where
Yeah, that
people
is
could gain
true.
to gain even more XP. So yeah, do you have anything to say, Alex, about the Combat Academy?
I like it because I mean when you're just thrown into it like you are in the beta, it's just not any good. And I like the idea of the Combat Academy because you'll get to be familiar with the system because I'm sure that even after playing the beta for the time I have, which is maybe 1.5 hours or 2 hours at most, I'm sure there were plenty of things that I had no idea about. And so it'd be really good to just be able to go through all the little nuances and everything because it'd be hard figuring out on your own. I mean, this combat system right now is really intuitive, so there was never really any need for it. But right now, there's only good that comes out of that. I really wanna give it a try, see how it goes.
I haven't personally done the Combat Academy, but as I said, I played it a lot on its initial like launch of the beta. But I like the way it's going, like it's more interactive and stuff like that. But on the other hand, a lot of people just like sitting back and AFKing. And I know Jagex released I can't remember. Do either of you guys know the name?
Momentum.
What?
Was it Momentum?
Something like that. It was I'm blanking. What are they even called? Power-ups or something? They're not called power-ups. What are those things you call they put on the action bar?
Abilities.
Abilities. Jeez, I can't even remember that. They add an ability to like try to boost up the AFKableness, if that's a word, of the beta or of the evolution of combat. But it's not there yet. So that this new academy will kind of slowly shift players into the new system. Like I think a lot of people don't like it because they don't understand it, and they log in for like 10, 20 minutes and they try to kill someone in the wilderness, and they just like get completely demolished, and they're like, this sucks, blah 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 blah. They log back into the normal game, and they never log back in. So the XP is also a good way to like make them actually do it, because even if they don't want to, they'll do it for the XP.
Mm-hmm. And it's also good they're opening the beta to free players, because I mean I know the free players had one weekend where they could go on, but they really need to let them experience it as well. Plus, it'll let old players who already quit, like
Yeah.
maybe quit a year ago, to be able to go on the beta, see what it's like without having to resubscribe.
I'm not sure on this, but I remember that free players had access to the beta only on the weekends, but they had access every weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the way it worked. I remember it initially launched for just members during the week, but the first few weekends free players could go on. I don't know if that continued, but they definitely had more than one chance.
Oh yeah, I think I just slurred up there. I now that I think back, you're right. They had like after that one weekend, they had access. They gained like permanent access, I think.
Well, it was permanent access. I think it was only during the weekends because they left.
Well, oh yeah, yeah.
They left the week for the members. I don't really. Well, I know why, because members pay, but I just don't see the point because most members are gonna have more time on the weekends anyway. So you should give the free players like, I don't know, Wednesday night. But no. So yeah, that's really all there is for this behind the scenes, besides some Solomon's General Store and Wheel of Fortune updates, obviously. But we don't really want to get into that, and I'm sure you guys don't want to hear yet another video about Solomon's General Store and the Wheel of Fortune. So do you guys have anything to add at the end?
Oh really?
Noah?
Solid month.
Yeah, pretty solid. It's looking like some good updates, even though there was no like huge, gigantic updates.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of small updates geared towards low-level players, which will obviously help the game. But we will have to wait and see, and we will be reviewing, not Noah and Alex, but I will be reviewing all of these updates as they come out. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Links to Noah and Alex's channels will be in the description, so head on over and subscribe to them. Thanks for watching. You guys can say bye.
See ya, studs.